I'm going to Karen. She's a member of Club New Life. She's calling from Boston, listens on WEZE. Hello, Karen. Thanks for being a member of Club New Life.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
Can you hear me okay?
Well, just barely. If you'll speak up, we can hear you better. But because you're a member of Club New Life, you can speak at any volume you want. We honor you for that.
Okay, this is great.
Okay.
Is this better? Can you
It's
hear
better,
me?
much better. Thank you.
Is that better now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yes, I'm calling. I am a member, and I encourage everybody to be a member. I don't think everybody knows that they get these wonderful CDs every month that really, I pass them on. They're wonderful, Steve.
Thank you. Thanks for doing that.
Do you listen to them first before you pass them on, Karen? I was
she
just
uses
checking.
them as frisbees.
Yeah. Do you listen to them first, Karen,
The
right?
dog loves them.
Yeah.
Great. It's really, I pay them forward.
Nice.
I'm calling because I had an experience being married for over 20 years to a husband that had a borderline personality disorder.
Okay, now you got to stop right there. You got to tell us something kind of bizarre about your relationship with a borderline personality disordered man.
I didn't know that he was. I didn't even know what that meant till 20 years. So again, for 20 years, I was your basic enabler, and I thought it was bipolar. So the bizarre behavior was really not seeming like there was any way to change. We would have mood swings in the beginning of the relationship, which led to verbal abuse, which led to pushing and shoving, and a lot of minimizing. So really what would happen, rather than apologies, they would be, oh, that wasn't a big deal, or, oh, I didn't throw you, I pushed you. It was always justification for his behavior.
Yeah.
And as in the manipulation of it, you start thinking to yourself, gee, maybe I did make a big deal of it, and I didn't understand this because, I felt, again, I was a Christian wife that had to continue to forgive, and I kept doing that, but instead of change, I just saw more taking advantage of the forgiving personality.
Okay.
So it got to a point where, again, we went through 7 therapists, some Christian, some non-Christian. We went to the Weekend to Remember. We tried psychiatrists, psychologists, marriage counseling mostly, which probably was the biggest mistake because I wish that he got more help for it.
All right, so
My question,
what's your question? Go ahead. Yeah, what's your question?
Yep. Well, I'm divorced about 2 years now. I have a daughter that is asking me if there's any help for reconciliation, and I don't know. Do these people change, Steve? Do they ever change?
Well, they do, but they have to be willing to change, and the willingness is pretty difficult to find because, inside there is a tremendous amount of fear, I believe, and I think they're afraid that this whole system that they've created around them to survive, I think they're afraid of it all falling apart, and they won't survive it. That's my belief of why it's so.
Really, why is that? Why can't they change?
Well, let's just look back at their childhood. What was so traumatic about his childhood?
Okay, good point. He was a child of a very difficult father that would hit him with the strap and abuse him verbally and punish him. The punishment didn't match the crime for the young age that he was. So, yes, there was all of that.
That's the kind of background that a borderline personality disorder would come out of, where they would be literally afraid for their lives sometimes and afraid that the abuse would never, ever end. So, Mylon, you've worked with a lot of borderline. I mean, so have you, Jill. What do you think? What should she do?
Well, does he agree with that diagnosis? Has he accepted it?
Halfway. You see, the problem I'm dealing with is that he's now saying, I'll do anything. I agree now. I really got to change.
Okay.
And,
that's great.
That's very positive.
There you are.
Because I think that people need to own whatever their diagnosis is if they're going to heal.
Yeah.
If I'm an alcoholic, I need to say that. If I have a personality disorder, and again, personality disorders are so deep and systemic, the person oftentimes, in most cases, is unaware that they have it. So for healing to take place, and I know some wonderful people with BPD that have recovered a lot, because they own it and they say, I want to deal with this. And if you even Google it, you get all 9 criteria for what they are in terms of the bullet points that identify this. But it really is internally a regulation and a reaction problem inside. The person has a very difficult time regulating their emotions, which you just told us why. You see,
right? But my question is, they say that, and this is what I'm getting at. I don't want to go through another 20 years where, yes, he did recognize it, said he changed, and then once they get back comfortable again, they go back.
Well, you're absolutely right. So
yes.
now you require you require something of him. You require a history of doing work. You require a history of psychiatric and psychology every week, somebody working with this person. Jill, what would you add to that?
You definitely need to see some action. This isn't just about promising until they get comfortable, because he'll be triggered again. So ongoing therapy, a couple of years or more, so that he can work through those issues and be contained, and you aren't getting the full brunt of it.
Yeah, it wouldn't be fair.
All right.
No, it wouldn't be fair. That was very helpful.
Yeah, we'll be back right after this for more of New Life Live.